Hi, welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. I am Distat Nuno. Thank you for joining me. This is my very second video, and so I appreciate you rocking with me, especially if you watched the first one. Yikes. It was 20 minutes long, and it was like, but it was the first one, right? So we got that done. That's in the bag. Done. This is going to be a little bit more progressive and hopefully exciting, and it's going to talk about hip-hop, which I did mention in my first video in regards to like mental health and what have you, and I talked a little bit about hip-hop, but this one in particularly is coming back to the roots, as it were, and I would like to know, when did you fall in love with hip-hop? So please put the comments below. I like to start a dialogue on this, especially because I'd like to maybe start a part series. One of the ideas that I have is the preservation of hip-hop. Another is the past, if you will, the architects of our culture, and the present, like where we are now as far as in hip-hop. For me, it's been huge. It's literally one of the things that's kept me going throughout my life, ever since I was 5. So I know the moment I fell in love with hip-hop was when my dad, of all people, my dad's like Archie Bunker, like literally Archie Bunker, and Fred Flintstone, I tell people, rolled into one person. So I'm like the new age hip-hop Gloria, I guess you could say. But I fell in love with hip-hop when he first took me to a breakdancing competition in, of all places, a little tiny town in Warsaw, Indiana. A little tiny town called Warsaw, Indiana. And it was, you know, the movement and the drums and the sound. And ever since then, I've just really fallen in love with hip-hop. But on top of that, music is really a pretty big part of my life, whether I want to separate it from myself or not. It's been like a blessing and a curse at the same time. Anybody who loves music, I think, might be able to identify with that. However, with that being said, my love of film also grew through hip-hop and of course media and things like that. So my first movie that I fell in love with really was Wild Styles. Great movie in the 80s, and then you had Breaking, and then you had Beat Street, and you know, the Fat Boys and things like that. And so, you know, I was 5 in this little small town of Indiana, and those things resonated with me for whatever reason and really kept being a key part of my life, especially as I've gotten older and as a teenager. You know, most people in my peer group might think that I would associate with like Nirvana. I don't know anything about Nirvana. However, I did grow up, you know, I tell people all the time, and I'm not joking, like Tupac raised me. Like I literally went to bed listening to Tupac every night when I was a teenager. So for me, hip-hop has been a blessing. It's been a curse in many ways, because growing up in the 90s, being me and loving hip-hop was no small feat, I can tell you. However, it was a huge influence, and especially, and it gave me a voice and a way to communicate. I am very vocal about this. I have what they call untreated adult ADHD. And so I didn't know that at the time. I was later diagnosed around 4 or 5 years ago, you know, as a full-fledged adult. So growing up as a young person, not knowing that I had this, like hip-hop really gave me a way of communicating when I have difficulties. I actually used to rap. I used to MC. I used to write more. And so for me, hip-hop has really been huge. As I've gotten older, I was like, I have to put hip-hop away. I'm growing out of it and things like that. But so many things have changed now in hip-hop, and it's really evolved and matured in its own right. And so I feel like people from my generation, I feel like it's evolved with them, and that's really an amazing thing, because there's conversations about, you know, being too old to be in hip-hop and all of these things, which I'd really like to get into in different parts of a series in relation to hip-hop. But more so than anything, to keep it short, under 5 minutes, what is it about hip-hop that you fell in love with? Or when did you fall in love with hip-hop, rather? 2 questions. Answer both of them. Comments below. I'd appreciate it. Let's start a dialogue. Maybe something more positive in relations to hip hop, because there's so many things that are still wrapped around negative connotations these days, but even though it's more widely accepted. So, those are the two questions. When did you fall in love with hip hop? And what is it about hip hop that you love? And what is it about hip hop that you connect with? Is it cultural? Is it just about the music? Is it about the personas and personalities? Like, what is it about hip hop that you really connect with? So I'd be interested to learn those things, and let's talk about them. So please do like and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm just getting started. This is just a key turning point for hopefully the direction that I hope to go in. And with that being said, one of the key points I think in relation to my channel is following your dreams. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. We all make excuses for where we're at. I know I'm really guilty of that. But with such great different YouTubers and people out there on Instagram, like, there's no excuse. Like, I don't care if you want to knit socks for cats. I don't care if you just, like, want to start a Snoopy fan club. Like, I don't care. Whatever it is, whatever your dreams are, go and do them. Because, I've gotten stuck in jobs myself. Like, life is too short. And once you start to really turn around your thinking and manifest and cultivate your reality, great things can start to happen, but it all starts with the start. So again, I'm This That Nunu. This is my very second video, and I appreciate you rocking with me. Please like and subscribe. My content can only get better with your help and support. So with that being said, peace and love. One love. I'm going to bring back one love. Super important. And the best to you and positive vibes in your journey. So peace in the next video. I'm going to see you.